All right, we are live. We are ready. Well, good evening. Good evening. My gosh, look at those numbers. Wow. Huge, 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 huge numbers. We had to get more seats because we were maxing out our capacity from the other night. And so just congratulations to all of you that are out there actively engaged in your THW global business. Now, Thursday nights, I want you to make a point to make our Thursday night webinars. Thursday night is my favorite night of the week because it's our training night. And I love training. This is what gets me high. This is my crack. This is my cocaine. This is my heroin. And no, I don't do drugs. But I get a high when we're training, and especially when I see that people are getting it and they are applying it. So now Thursday nights, while we will infuse things obviously about THW Global, the principles that we'll be sharing on Thursday nights can be applied to building any marketing enterprise via the internet and or with mobile marketing. Many of you, and we'll do some polls in just a little bit, many of you are promoting things because, you know, THW Global just came across our desk 3 weeks ago today. So many of you were already promoting other things, and you continue to promote other things. And so what we want to do is we want to bring value to our overall audience. Whether you're on our THW Global team or not is really irrelevant in terms of us bringing you value, but value that you can also use to build out any of your other income streams. Real quickly before I start here, I almost forgot something. Bear with me. Bear with me. So I want to give you, so let me post real quickly our objective, okay? Our objective is to assist you in building a long-term sustainable business, a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income, a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income across multiple niches, so that you ultimately have the financial and the time freedom to hotly pursue the passions of your heart. For most of us, marketing is a means to an end. We're in this industry, the work from home industry, the make money online niche, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, because we want to generate enough revenue so that we've got the time freedom. Because there's a much larger calling that most of us have in life than trying to recruit somebody into a deal or trying to get someone to buy a product or a service for us. The idea is to let's get this money question answered. So whatever it is that you were really put here to accomplish, whatever your passion is, that you can hotly pursue that with all of your heart and not have to worry about the money part. So that's what our target is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I need you to understand this. Now, we've been saying, is it crap? Is it gold? Is it crap? Is it gold? You know, we don't know. We don't know fully if it's crap. We don't know fully if it's gold. We're obviously hopeful that it's gold. But my objective for our audience is the same: to help you build a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income across multiple niches, so that you ultimately have the financial and time freedom to pursue the passions of your heart, whether or not THW Global is crap or gold. So I want you to really intimately follow us. Thursday nights are going to be our training nights, and these things that we'll be sharing in terms of these trainings, you're going to be able to apply to your business. And your business is not THW Global. Your business is not ABC Network Marketing Company or ABC DEF Network Marketing Company. THW Global is simply a part of your overall income producing portfolio when you embrace our objective and when you start to really build out the way that we'll be sharing with you how to build a business. Now, I don't claim to be a guru, but we've been in the industry for 20 years. We've had a lot of 20, 40 years. We've had a lot of successes. No, 22 years. All right, 22 years. We've had a lot of successes. We've had some failures. We've had some fall down and scrape our knees and what have you. So we've been through all of that. And about 3 or 4 years ago, we decided that we really wanted to scale our businesses, our business, and we started attending, we started buying, a higher level internet marketing type trainings and courses and masterminds, and so we've invested tens of thousands of dollars in mastermind training. And what we'll be delivering on these Thursday nights will be the fruit of a lot of that training that maybe we outlaid $20,000 or $30,000 for in one mastermind group, and learn some things that has impacted our marketing so that we can bring that to you. Okay, now the first thing I want to do tonight is I want to cover some THW Global correspondence. I had a chance to go back and look at some things over the past few days, and some things really stood out to me. Now, we're still asking the question, is it crap or is it gold? Now, I would tell you, I'd be the first one to say, and I know that there are, someone from corporate or what have you routinely is on social media, particularly YouTube. I've had them respond to a couple of my YouTube videos. So if you are THW Global corporate and you happen to see this on YouTube or what have you, then I would love for you to connect with yours truly or do something for the company. I would love, and I'm sure all of you would love, to have corporate come out and do a conference call or do a webinar or hear from some, a face of the company or what have you. So that's still why, we say, well, is it crap? We'd like to see that happen, okay? Now, I'm not going to say it's crap because that hasn't happened yet, but I do want to put that out in the public on a video. So corporate, if you're hearing this, this is what the field is wanting, okay? The field is wanting to hear from somebody from corporate, okay? All right, now, I think it's too early to say it's crap or it's gold. But as I started going over some of this content, it started to lead me to believe that either one, these folks are just taking a scam to the nth degree, which I don't believe is the case. Number two, they've got a great concept, but they won't fulfill on it. And we've seen that happen a lot in the marketing world and in just business. You have a great concept, and you go to the real life and it maybe didn't quite work out. I've experienced that. I was a part owner of a network marketing company. Great concept, great product, 5 owners. 3 of us were on the same page, 2 of us weren't. The 2 that weren't kind of ran it in the ground, okay? That didn't mean it was a scam. It just meant that we had poor execution. Or the third thing could be great concept and great execution. It's too early to be able to put THW Global in my book in any of those categories. However, with that being said, there are some things that jumped out to me that leads me to believe that if they have the infrastructure, if they do the execution, that this could, maybe perhaps, all of my disclaimers, be gold. Now, the first thing I want to be mindful of, and you can go into your back office. Give me just a moment. Let's make sure. Okay, you can go into your back office under your message center. You can go into your back office under your message center. And now I don't know if everybody gets all of the messages. I know there's been some messages that went out to folks that were in the US that may not have gone out to folks in other countries. So I don't know if all the messages will be there, but you should be able to have, you should have your welcome message. You should have a message or two, a message right around July 4th. I think June 29th is when there was a message telling us what to expect for July 4th. And then there were a couple of messages, depending on where you are in the world. You may have gotten 1 or you may have gotten 2 on, excuse me, on July 4th. So let's go through these real quickly. I'm going to do this very quick. On the welcome message, all right, on the welcome message, it talks about, it talked about once they reach 50,000 IVs, July 4th, 2016, we will be rolling out the THW viewing model. Now, one could obviously interpret that as on July 14th, we're going to be starting to view, or one could interpret that as when they say rolling out, this whole idea of gathering the demographics could be a part of that rolling out plan. So it's difficult just reading it to know which way we should interpret that. So once again, if someone from THW Global Corporate is watching this, if you're on our webinar, all right, maybe somebody's on the webinar, or if you're watching this, let's say at a later date, maybe on YouTube, we'd love to hear something from corporate so that we have a clearer understanding. One of the reasons I do so much with video is because a lot of times you can put something in writing, all right? You can text it, text it to someone. You could be on Skype, you could be on Facebook and type it out. But unless you hear the voice, unless you hear the inflection, sometimes it may not be taken the way you meant it when you typed it out or when you texted it out or Skyped it out or what have you. So once again, if THW Global happens to see this video, we'd love to hear from you. So obviously a lot of people took this to mean we're going to start viewing on July the 4th. All right. And obviously we haven't begun viewing on July the 4th. So again, it could have been interpreted, which when I went back over it, I interpreted it as the process of rolling out viewing could have begun. Now, obviously, am I jaded because I want it to be gold? Yes. And could that be why I'm interpreting it that way, because I want it to be gold? That very well could be the case. Okay. Now, when we go to the post on June the 29th, telling us what to expect on July the 4th, this to me was fairly clear. It said beginning on July 4th, we will begin to collect our initial demographics on our IVs. The international viewers is what that stands for. By the way, if you are new and you know nothing about THW Global, tonight is a training night for us, and I really don't have the time to do a presentation. Get back with the person that referred you. Go on and get registered. If they've been following us intimately, they can probably send you a recorded webinar where we really dig into what THW Global is looking to accomplish, so on and so forth. But again, I need to focus on the training aspect on tonight. It says the demographic surveys will begin to help THW advertising decide what type of content to deliver to you in the future. Now that makes perfect sense to me. This will also give THW Global a more accurate picture of how many serious IVs is in the system. So there's over 500,000 IVs in the system, but being registered is just one part of the puzzle. The second part of the puzzle is to make sure that you and your folks have taken their demographic surveys, and you'll find that right under here where it says Survey Center in your back office. So make sure it only takes about 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most to fill out that survey. Okay. Now it goes on. Let me see here. They say we're happy to announce THW Advertising already has in excess of 100 clients who are committed to spending large dollars to advertise to THW Global IVs to get their opinions on their products and services. This is just the beginning. And then they go on to share some of their goals for the year and next year, so on and so forth. So those demographic surveys, that makes so much sense. If I had thought of this, and if I had the resources, if I had the infrastructure to put this thing together, and this is a massive scale we're talking about, okay? What I would want to do if I was going to approach an advertiser is I'd want to have as much data about our user base as possible to get that sale, to land that contract. And the more data I have and the more targeted that data, the more I could look to charge the advertiser for that data. All right. So instead of, let's say, TV advertising, which is really a lot of throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. All right. Because when you see a TV advertisement, they're banking on just the sheer masses of people that could maybe perhaps see that advertisement. But they don't have any demographics on me if I would be interested in that product or this product or what have you. So I love the fact that they're doing the demographic surveys. Let's go to, this was one of the posts on July the 4th. All right. Give me a moment. Okay, so this was explaining that we're moving from pre-launch to soft launch. I'm going to say this again. THW Global, if there's a corporate person out there and you're watching this, we'd love for you to come on so you could explain to the audience what does a pre-launch versus a soft launch really mean? Okay. Now, what they say here in the writing is we will begin capturing data on each IV, on each international viewer, in order to start selling companies our THWGlobal DMAP, direct marketing advertising packages. We already have hundreds of commitments from companies. So I was glad to see that there is they are reiterating that they already have companies that want to do business with us, all right, that desire to start advertising as soon as we have accumulated 50,000 active IVs with demographic profiles in a designated area. Okay, now this is what I take that to mean, all right? We've got to have 50,000, not just registrations, 50,000 folks that have filled out the demographic surveys in a particular region. So let's say in the United States as an example, all right, there needs to be 50,000 in the US that have filled out their demographic data before those advertisers start advertising to those folks in the US. That's what I take that to mean. It could mean something differently. So I'm going to say it again. If you happen to be with THW Global corporate and you see this, we'd love to hear from somebody from corporate on a webinar or a conference call or what have you. Okay. So we're not having to try to interpret something that you wrote and somebody interprets it one way and somebody else may interpret it another way. Now, here's one of the things I'm going to say here. Patience needs to be the word of the day. Okay. Because I believe this very well could be gold. There are going to be those that, because we haven't started viewing yet, are going to say it's crap. See, I told you so. I knew it was too good to be true, so on and so forth. And they're going to go off to the next shiny object, okay? And they're going to stop, you know, if they were, Yes. That's what I meant to bring up. Yeah. Go on, Queen. Yeah, I think it launched on the 12th and it came across my desk on the 16th of June, if I remember correctly. Okay. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. I meant to bring that. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, my point is there's going to be some that, because we're not viewing yet, they're going to say, this is crap, this is crap, this is crap. I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. And maybe they were building, maybe they weren't building. And let's say if they were building, they may stop building. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't stop building. Because if we stop building or we slow down our building, that just means it slows down the process by which 50,000 folks in a designated area are registered and have their surveys. So to stop building at this point would only take it longer before, you know, folks in the US or in the Philippines or in Trinidad or what have you would begin viewing in those areas. I will continue with the same aggression, if not more, promote THW Global. I don't know how long it's going to be before we start viewing, but I will continue to promote it. And I'll continue to use my disclaimers. Is it crap? Is it gold? Because just think this through. Just think this through. In 2004, nobody had heard of Facebook. Nobody had heard of Facebook in 2004. When Mark Zuckerberg and a few of his college mates started putting that together. All right. Now, people had heard of MySpace. Remember them? Remember them? All right. People had heard of MySpace, but nobody had heard of Facebook. Now, they've got 1.6 billion folks. What if Facebook had come out with, what if Mark Zuckerberg, when he's on a college campus, I think he was at Harvard, what if they had come out with, hey, we're going to build the social network, it's going to turn into an advertising giant, and we're going to pay people to view ads. Well, guess what? Nobody would have believed that then either. Why? Because nobody knew what Facebook was. We all know who Facebook is now. And so we can choose to take a little faith, and that's really what it is, because there is no financial risk. We can choose to take a little faith, Build with our disclaimers. Hey, could be crap, could be gold, could be crap, could be gold. If it winds up being crap, crap doesn't mean it was a scam. It could have just been that they didn't execute. Well, then that should minimize any egg on the face. Nobody has any financial risk. I haven't personally done any paid marketing campaigns. I'll probably do a couple even before we start viewing, but you know, I'll scale into that. And I'm not going to go out and spend $2,000-3,000 in advertising at this juncture. Okay, I might do a couple test ads just to see how things run, maybe a solo ad and what have you. All right, so I want to make sure that our folks that are following us understand that we're going to have to exhibit some patience, because 50,000 active IVs in a designated market area. But think this through. Don't we want to have in that demographic area enough people viewing so that it becomes profitable for the advertiser, so the advertiser wants to continue their relationship with THW Global? What we don't want to have happen is we don't want them to, hey, let's start viewing, you know, so people are excited about viewing, and we don't have enough people there viewing so that the advertisers don't really see a return on their investment. They don't see anything different, and they say, well, no, I'm not going to advertise with you anymore. All right, so it makes sense to make sure that we have not only the numbers of people that are registered, but the demographic data. And so they go on to talk a little bit more about this. And this, you definitely want to spend some time, if you haven't, going through these posts. Now, the last post I want to go into, and then I want to get into our content, our training for tonight. Give me a moment here. This talks more about the surveys. All right, now this one to me gave us the most information. I thought this was just extremely valuable, and I want to read some of this. All right, demographic profiles provide an excellent means of discerning which segments of our group are a likely target for a particular product or service. Moreover, they can provide a clear view of how many brands are perceived by consumers in terms of advantages and disadvantages. In addition to creating competition, demographic profiling can reveal strategic insights into why our international viewers prefer one brand. Let me highlight these. I'm sorry. Why they prefer one brand over another in a given sector. Ultimately, these insights provided by our surveys will be used to increase sales for the company viewership. Now that just makes perfect business sense. Okay, business products. Businesses market products or services through targeted approaches to different segments of the population. Demographics are a statistical component of marketing used to identify population segments by specific characteristics, whether small or large businesses need to target approach to customers. Demographics affects all the choices a business owner makes in developing a marketing plan. Now, let me give you the best example of this. One of the reasons that Facebook is a favorite advertising platform for big business, medium-sized business, even home business entrepreneurs is because Facebook collects a tremendous amount of demographic data. When you are registering your Facebook account, you're telling them your age, you're telling them your gender, you're telling them your level of education. When you are clicking on likes, they have an algorithm to see what do you like. Do you like certain things about religion? Do you like? Do you have a certain political bias or what have you? They ask you, where do you live? Where have you lived in the past? All this stuff they're asking you, and every time you're going and you're visiting Facebook pages, or you're liking some content, or you're forwarding content, there's an algorithm in the background that's logging all of that so that they have a better sense of what type of advertisements to serve in your newsfeed, to serve on your right-hand side. So what that targeted type of relationship has done for Facebook is it has allowed it to become a behemoth in the advertising space because it is so very targeted. And so that's why these demographics are so important. And again, when I read this and went back even after our Tuesday night webinar, I didn't think I gave this the justice that it deserved. Do I want somebody from corporate to come on and do a call or a webinar? Yes. Yes, I want that to happen. When I read this, I remember what one of my mentors taught me, and then we get into our actual marketing training. He said, when the potential rewards are great, don't be afraid to take the limited risks. Well, in this case, we have no financial risk. Our risk is people get excited, people get their hopes up. Well, the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, that's entrepreneurialism. We all, if we've been online for any length of time, have gotten excited about an offer, and that offer let us down. It wasn't necessarily a scam. Maybe they just didn't execute. So we've been there before, which is why we do want to temper people's levels where, you know, is it crap, is it gold, is it crap, is it gold? And we'll continue saying, is it crap, is it gold, is it crap, is it gold, until people are viewing and people are getting paid. All right. So, you know, whenever that is, okay. So that's the biggest risk, is that people get their hopes up and darn, it doesn't quite happen. What I want to make sure is known to you is this right here, our objective to assist you in building a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income across multiple niches so that you ultimately have financial and time freedom to hotly pursue the passions of your heart. That's our objective, whether THW is crap or whether THW is gold. Now, obviously, if it's gold, it allows us to jumpstart because people can generate revenue without having a list and all of those good things, which we ultimately want you to have, obviously, okay? And then they can use that revenue, as we've been teaching on our webinars and through our training content, to seed back into their business so that their business, you know, you start building your list and you have other things that you can share with your list, okay? So it would serve as a jump start. If it doesn't wind up coming to fruition, I'm certainly not suggesting it won't. I'm not suggesting that, okay? Our objective is still the same. Our objective does not change, because when you understand how to market, see, here's the challenge. If you don't understand how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. So there are people in THW, I saw one post where someone said they had 1,550 personal enrollees. Well, that's someone who's learned something about marketing. They must have a massive list. And then there's other folks, a lot of other folks in THW Global that have goose eggs. They haven't referred anyone just yet. And I'm not speaking down to anybody if you haven't referred anyone just yet. My point is, if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. But the reverse of that is true. Once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you are marketing. Now, we're going to get into our training. Before we do that, I want to do just a couple of polls, 3 or 4 polls. These will be quick to gauge our audience, because we've got a lot of folks that have been on our webinars of late, and I don't know your names. All right, you're new to our following, and we welcome you. But I want to gauge where we are in certain aspects of marketing. So just bear with me. I'm going to pull up now. When I pull up these polls, it's going to pop up on your screen, and you'll just click the radio button that corresponds with your answer. So this first one is going to say, I am currently promoting 1 or more income opportunities outside of THW Global. If you're currently promoting something other than THW Global, then you would say yes. If the only thing that you may be promoting now is THW Global, then you would say no. And I want everyone voting. I think we've given you enough value for you to go on. Only a third of you have voted. Come on, come on. Come on, reciprocate, reciprocate. We're giving. Give back to us. Everyone vote. Half of you have voted. That's not good enough. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to give it 10 seconds. 9. Come on, vote, vote, vote. Either yes or no, either yes or no. Right there on your screen. Either yes or no. 8, 7. The radio button. Yeah. 4, 3. I need some more love than this. 67% of you have voted. I need more love than that. We're working our butts off for our audience. Give me some. There you go. There you go. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close this out and reveal the results. Okay. So 75% of you said I'm promoting something other than THWGlobal, which makes sense, Queen, because THWGlobal just came across our desk 3 weeks ago, okay? So these trainings are going to be very important for you because I don't want you to stop promoting those other things. I want you to get better at promoting those other things. 2 more real quickly. This is going to ask about your subscriber list, more specifically your email list. Ultimately, we want you also building an SMS text list. Many of you have not started that yet, but some of you do have an email list. So this is saying that your current subscriber base, well, if you don't have an email list, then you've got a subscriber base of 0. You know, if you've got 100 to 499 contacts, click that radio button. If you've got 500 to 2,500, click that radio button. 2,501 to 9,999, click that radio button. 10,000 or more, click that radio button. Let's get everyone voting, okay? And this is going to be very, very important because one of the telltale signs as to whether or not a person is generating revenue in their business, the only niche that I have seen that has provided some consistency of income that did not require marketing. There might be other niches out there that maybe I'm just not aware of, is the e-commerce niche. So there's a lot of folks that are making money with drop shipping on eBay, or they're doing some Amazon things or some Shopify things or what have you, where you don't necessarily have to have a list to generate some revenue. There's a buddy of mine, he hit $1 million already this year in e-commerce sales, all right? And I don't think he's building a list in that. He's just doing his Amazon business or what have you. Let's put this up here. Okay. Queen, could you make a quick note of that? Because this is going to be important. All right. So now, here's the rule of thumb in marketing. The rule of thumb is, we're in training now. The rule of thumb is you want to average at least $1 per month per subscriber in your list. Let's say your email list for right now. Now, if you look at the numbers here, you'll see that 26% say I have no contacts. 61% say I've got some contacts, but I don't have a lot. I've got less than 500. Okay. So 87% of the respondents and 70-some% of you voted. Okay. Not 100% like I was hoping, but 73% of you voted. 87% are saying I've got less than 500 in my subscriber base. Now, if we apply the $1 per month per subscriber target to those numbers, that tells me that the overwhelming majority, and this is not new, we've done this for years in terms of asking this question, and we basically get the same numbers where somewhere between 85 and 90% have less than 500 contacts in their list. We've got 7% that have somewhere between 500 to 2,500. We've got 2% that have 2,500 to just under 10,000, and only 3% have about 10,000 contacts or more. Now, see that those are about the numbers that you have when it comes to making money in the industry. Those folks that have 10,000 or more are likely generating 6 figures or close to 6 figures. And if you're not generating 6 figures and you've got 10,000 contacts, then we've got to work on bonding with that list, because you certainly have the numbers in there. The question would be, how responsive is the list? Okay. And we'll talk about things that we do and things that we want to empower you to do to not only build your list, but to cultivate a responsive list, so that when you send out a post about THWGlobal, you have people responding to you. When you send out a post and 75% of you are promoting something else about that something else you're promoting, you've got people in your list that are responding to you. Okay. So this tells me, ladies and gentlemen, that we've got some work to do. Whether THW Global is gold or not, we've got some work to do. Why? Because if, let's say THW Global, for the rest of this webinar, let's assume she's gold. Let's assume she's a gold, all right? She's gold. Yes, you can view. You're one of the 87% with just a few contacts, if any, in your email list versus somebody who has 10,000 contacts or more in their email list. Who's going to build a stronger referral network? The person that has the 10,000 contacts, assuming everything else is equal. They're sending out messages that have value, that bring value to the audience, so on and so forth. Okay. So what we want to do over this process of time, whether she's crap or gold, is we want to help you start to build your following, building your list. Your business is not the offer. The offer is important. The offer is important. THW is an offer. It's just that. It is an offer. It is important. But that's not your business. Your business is you. Your business is you. Your business is you and your following. Your business is you and your following. Heaven forbid if THW Global winds up being crap. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. I'm still in business. I'm still in business because I understand that my business isn't THW Global. My business is me, so I'm constantly working on me so I can be a better me, working on my business, me, not just in my business, because as I work on me and I become a better me, that shows up in my business because it's me in my business. It's me in my marketing, okay? All right, so your business is you and your following. You and your following. Because my buddy Tyron, who's personally referred, I don't know if he's at 400 plus or now or not. I know he was at 370 something the other day. Okay. Tyron, he's got a large following. If THW Global, unfortunately, heaven forbid, doesn't turn out to be gold like we want it to be, guess what? He still has a following. And when something else comes across his desk because he provides value to his following, then there's going to be folks in his following that are going to say, okay, that one didn't work. Hey, what you got for me, buddy? Because I know it wasn't your fault. All right. So this is why it's so important that we understand that if we're going to build a long-term sustainable business, it's going to happen not just because of one offer. All right. We want to build a long-term sustainable business where you control the leads. You get the leads. You control the messaging that goes to those leads. All right. One more. Last one. This one simply says, what's your dream monthly income? Talk to me. What's your dream monthly income? What's your dream monthly income? What's your dream monthly income? Let's get everybody voting. Come on, come on. Give me some love. I gave you some value. Give me some love. Give it back to me. Give it back to me now. Give it back to me. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds and 4 and 3. Some of you are putting your questions or answering in the questions box. I need you to do it right there on the screen with the radio button. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. And we'll list this one too. This will be our last one. Okay. So what you see here is that the majority of folks, looks like 71% of you, 71% of you are saying, I want to make $10,000 a month or more. 37%, largest segment, said I want to make over 50 grand a month. Then you've got the 34 that says 10,000 to 49.99. Only a small percentage of you said less than 1,000. Some of you 1,000 to 5,000. So really, let's say at the 5,000 up, we've got 87% of you saying I want $5,000 a month or more. All right, $5,000 a month or more. Now, what that tells me is, with THW Global, let's say she's gold, let's say she's gold, let's say she's gold. We're now viewing whenever that time happens to be. Give me a moment. Okay. All right. So 87% of you said I want to make $5,000 a month or more. Well, you're not going to make $5,000 a month simply viewing. You could maybe perhaps make up to 1,000, but not 5,000. So what that means is We want to build a referral network, whether it's in THW Global or ABC or DEF or GHI, whatever other income streams that you might be promoting. So this is why I want you to commit to our Thursdays. Okay, so now last week, give me a moment. So I'm going to do a little review and then we're going to get into some new content tonight. All right, so last week we talked about the 4 tenets of business building. These also are the 4 major problems that marketers have, the reasons that marketers are not successful. All right, most marketers do not have a funnel-based system. We talked about that last week a little bit. We're going to deal with that a little bit more on tonight. And because they don't have a funnel-based system, they don't have a responsive list. Now, we just saw that 80-some-odd% of you, and I'm not talking down when I say this, please understand that, 80-some-odd% of you, I think it was 86 or 87%, have less than 500 in your list. Some of you had no list whatsoever. Now, if I asked you the question, how many responsive folks you have in your list, if you were to send out an email, how many people would you expect to respond? Most of your autoresponders give you an idea of how many people open up an email. If there was a link in the email for them to click, most of your autoresponder systems tell you how many people actually clicked onto the link. It's very rare that I ever send out an email that doesn't have a link. And part of that is, one, I want to train my audience, train those in my email list, train those in my SMS text list to click on the link. Because typically I'm going to have some type of video training, whether it's me doing the training or whether I'm leveraging some other content or what have you. But what that also allows me to do is that allows me to see just how responsive my list is. All right, just how responsive my list is. Are people opening up the email? Are people, and then are people clicking onto the link? Okay. All right. So you want to have a responsive list, because if you have a list, but people aren't responding, then that still is not a recipe for success. Now you want to have compelling offers. Now here's a big key. You want to make sure that your offer, that the way your offer is framed, okay, that the way your offer is framed is that it is providing a solution to a problem, a frustration, a pain of your target audience. You want, the way the offer is framed, you want to make sure that people see it as a solution to a problem they're having, a solution to a frustration that they're dealing with, a solution to pain. So you want to bring the healing. You want to bring the ointment. You want to bring the salve to their pain. Now, THW Global, assuming she's gold, is a very compelling offer. But I can tell you most people are not presenting it in a compelling fashion. All right, I'm gonna give you an example. Give you an example. Okay. Now I'm picking on somebody. I don't have their name showing or anything like this. If you happen to be on the webinar, you know I love you. Okay, this is the person that I've known for years. You know I love you. So, and I just want to help you. Okay. All right. So here's an example of someone who's sharing THW Global. Get paid to watch videos, totally free program. Sign up, it's free to join. This is taking off worldwide and you're invited. Earn $25 an hour watching videos. There's a 10-level network, so if anyone in your 10-level network views an hour's worth of content, they make 25, the personal referral makes 5, you make, and there was some other stuff that I missed. And then it says free membership. You never pay anything. THW Global was in pre-launch. This was, it was interesting because this is actually an email they sent to me today. All right. So they didn't even bother to go back and change the fact that it's beyond July 4th. And then they had their links. Well, so in your questions box, was there any value in that email? Yes or no? Was there any value in that email? No, there was no value in the email, one. Number two, does this email say, I have a solution to your pain? Does it highlight anybody's pain and says, and pour salt in that wound so that people are now wanting to buy the solution? No. So what we want to do, all right, so let me give you an example. Last Tuesday, not 2 days ago, but the previous Tuesday, we did a live webinar presenting THWGlobal, in which case I spent a good amount of time on that webinar talking about the pain of the advertisers. Some of you might remember that. We talked about YouTube, and we talked about TV advertisers and the challenges they were having. And as I thought about it, I said, man, I screwed up. I'm talking about the pain of the advertiser. I need to be talking about the pain of we in the field. And so if you were on this Tuesday's webinar, you saw us switch it up a little bit. We started talking about people's pain. Here was the pain. There are families out there in the US, for instance, that are working jobs and they're still on welfare. They're having to get government assistance for things like food and health insurance and cash assistance programs and what have you. All right, that's what I mean. We need to magnify the pain, pour salt on the wound, remind people of the pain, then come back and share how our offer is a solution to the pain. Nobody wants to be sold, but everyone wants to buy. Well, what will people buy? People will do more to get away from the pain. They will do more to get away from the agony. They will do more to get away from the frustration than they'll actually do to pursue pleasure. So what a lot of people do in their marketing is they market the bling bling. All right, they market the cars and the houses and what have you. That's very temporary. But when you can tap into the pain and the frustration, now you start tapping into something that's deeply seated and deeply emotional. And so what you want to be able to do in your marketing is to pour salt on the pain, magnify the pain, and then come back and share how your offer is a solution to their pain. So right now, a good number of you don't have an email list. And you need to develop an email list, and you need to add to your list consistently. And so what have we done? We've said, okay, let's say we're viewing now. View the maximum of 10 hours. Get the maximum amount that you're going to earn from that. And then take 50% to 100% of that and reinvest that back into your business in the form of marketing, tools, resources, paid advertising, so on and so forth. So now what we've done is we've said, hey, here's a reason that you're struggling because you don't have a system. You're struggling because you don't have a list. You don't have a responsive list. All right, now here's a way that if it's gold, here's a way that you can now start to alleviate that issue is by viewing, getting the maximum amount of income from your viewing, and now recapitalizing back into your business. That's what you want to do with marketing, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you want to do with marketing. So if you're promoting something else, I need you to look at that something else you're promoting and ask yourself, what solution does it provide? What is the pain and the agony of my target market that would be interested in this solution? And if you're sending out an email or what have you, then you want to highlight the pain. Highlight the pain. Pour salt on that wound. You want it hurting. You want it hurting. You want it hurting. So now when you come with the ointment, you come with the salve. You don't have to sell jack. They're willing to buy because they want to get out of the what? They want to get out of the pain. We talked about the college students. So we hit essentially every age demographic. We talked about families that were working but still struggling. Some of the people on the webinar undoubtedly were family oriented. Maybe they're working a job. Maybe they have 2 jobs and it's still not enough. Then we talked about college students because we could either have college students on, I'm sure we've got college students on the webinar, or we've got parents that their children have just graduated or about to graduate, and they're underemployed or unemployed back at home. All right. What were we doing? We were pouring salt on the wound. Here's the pain. Here's the pain. Here's the pain. Here's the pain. Then we're going to come back and talk about a solution so that people buy the solution. Not that we sell them anything, they buy. We don't sell them anything, they buy. And then we even talked about the baby boomers, all right, that our retirees were having challenges. What were we doing? Pouring salt, pouring salt, pouring salt, pouring salt on the pain. And now we come with a solution. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you want to begin to market, okay? All right. Give us a moment. All right, so now I would say to this person, if they don't know any of the stuff that we just said, this is better than doing nothing. But remember, I want you to ultimately build, Vernon, a long-term sustainable business. What I'm sharing with you are principles that will allow you, whether it's crap or gold, to build a long-term sustainable business. Okay. Now, last week we talked about a funnel. All right. Most people struggle because they don't have a funnel-based system. And we said in traditional business, here's an example of a funnel. You go to McDonald's, let's say you order from the value menu, and what always comes out of the cashier's mouth? Would you like fries with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like, whatever they might be pitching? Now, what's interesting is if you do just a little research, what you will find is that when a person goes into McDonald's, that initial order typically is not extremely profitable for McDonald's. But when they add, would you like fries with that? I remember when supersizing was really popular. Would you like to supersize that? A lot of times on that value menu, that isn't a big profit center. I used to deliver pizzas way back, and if you ordered the pizza, the company made some profit, but the big profit would be in, would you like breadsticks with that? Would you like cheese sticks with that? Would you like a 2-liter Coke with that? That's where those ancillary things, that's where the bigger profit margins were. If you watch the TV show Shark Tank, what are the sharks always talking about? They're talking about the margins and the profit margins and what have you, okay? So this idea of a funnel is really foreign to a lot of network marketers. When I started, I had heard of a funnel, but I didn't really internalize it. I didn't really get what it meant until about 3 years ago when I started going to some mastermind groups and what have you. And I started investing big money to learn from entrepreneurs online that weren't doing 6 figures or 7 figures, but were doing 8 figures. People that were doing $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a month. And not necessarily in all profits, but in revenues, okay? All right, so we gave the example last week of a funnel that I am personally in now so that you can see what a funnel looks like so that you can appreciate the funnel that we'll have for our following, okay? By the way, my content is going to go until about 15 or 20 minutes past the hour, about 15 or 20 minutes past the hour, okay? All right. And then we'll open it up for some optional Q&A. All right, so here's a funnel that I am in now. I'm not going to mention a company or the name of the system or anything like that, but here's a funnel that I'm in now. All right, so a funnel starts in internet marketing or mobile marketing. A funnel starts with a lead magnet. A lead magnet, okay? Now, what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is basically a bribe, where you are giving away something. That something could be a free report, that something could be a video series, that something could be a webinar, okay? You're giving away something of value in exchange for their contact information. Typically, at least an email address, sometimes a name and an email address. Sometimes you might even be asking for an SMS text number. Okay, so this particular funnel that I was in was a webinar funnel. So I saw an ad on Facebook, and the ad spoke to a pain that I was having. I don't mean a physical pain, but something that I was wanting to address in my business. All right. So the ad magnified the pain, and the promise was that if I came on the webinar, that I would find a solution. I would find healing. Now, they didn't say healing ointment or salve, but they did say, hey, you come to the webinar, we're going to show you this. And this would have brought healing, ointment, salve to this marketing problem that that I perceived that I had. Okay. All right. So now I opted in. Now, this happened to be a webinar funnel. I love webinar funnels because when you are opting in, and let's say on the other side is just a sales page, a lot of times people won't give you their best information. They'll either give you an ABC at DEF.com just to see what's on the other side, or they may give you a legitimate email, but that's not an email that they check. They may have several emails, and that's one that they use for, you know, all the junk stuff. Okay. Whereas when someone opts into a webinar registration page, they're typically giving you their best data, because the expectation is I'm going to get a link that I need to click to attend the webinar at the webinar time. So I've got to give a good email address. Okay. So I will tell you that one of the things that we will have is we will have a webinar funnel. Right now, many of you have opted into our list so that you can get our training and follow us and what have you. All right. Now, that's great. We've got a list of folks, and I've committed that I will never send any personal referral links to that general webinar list, so that you're confident that you could invite your teammates to get into our funnel. Now, ultimately, what I want you to do is for you to capture that lead in your own list. Even if you direct them to our webinar, you're capturing the lead in your own list. All right. We'll walk you through all of that in due time. All right. So I'm the lead. Okay. Now I go to the webinar, and the webinar was done so well because I never felt like I was being sold. They highlighted the problem. They poured salt on the wound of the problem. And then they shared how their product or service was a solution, was healing, was ointment, was salve to the problem. So I bought. They didn't sell me anything. I bought. And this was their initial offer. I said primary offer. I should say initial offer. This was their initial offer. This was me at the value menu. Okay. Now, when I bought the offer, they had a membership site. And so as a part of me buying the offer, I got the membership site. When I go into the membership site for training, so that I can, because now I have this offer, and with this offer, with what I bought, I'm now a reseller, so I can now resell that. All right. So I go into the membership site, excuse me, so I can see exactly how they sold theirs. One of the big things that they were promoting was, we're going to give you our system. So you're going to be able to leverage our system to promote this offer. Well, cool. Cool. I don't have to create all the stuff. Now, I could customize some things, but I didn't have to create all the stuff. Cool. All right. Now, when I get into the membership site, they talked about a tool that they used to promote the offer. And I came through the tool, so I know the tool works. And so now they said, hey, get the tool. So guess what I did? I got the tool. They said, now you can do this without the tool, But we're going to show you how to automate this process. And in order to automate this process, you need this particular tool. Well, guess what? With this particular tool, there is an affiliate arrangement with it. They didn't sell me on anything. I bought it. Because in order for me to promote that offer with the automation that I saw in place, I needed that particular tool. So that created another income stream for them. They didn't have to sell me on it. They didn't have to sell me on it. It was a natural process of being in a very well designed funnel. Most network marketers don't have a funnel. Most of us have never even really understood what a funnel was. And if you have a nutritional company, for instance, a funnel is not, hey, they buy this health and wellness product, and then that company now comes out with a weight loss product, and now they buy that weight loss product. No, that's not a funnel. That's just a company that has multiple products. All right. Here, the funnel was, here is a tool that will help you build this business, automate this business. So I go and I buy the tool. I'm going to refer to this as the secondary offer. Well, when I go and I buy the tool itself had an upsell. Hey, here's the tool, but you can take this tool, the pro version. Let's say I got the basic version. All right. So the basic version, I pay for it, and that generates an affiliate commission to the people that have already gotten a sale from me, or a buy, I should say, a buy from me. So they've already made money. Now they make some more money because I want the tool. All right. And so let's say I've got the basic version. When I go to get the tool, they've got their own sales process. The person that has the tool, that is, all right, or the furnisher of the tool. All right. They've got their own sales process. So now I'm in their sales process. Here's the basic version. Here's what you get with the basic version. Oh, by the way, we got the pro version. And this is why you may want to consider the pro version. And if you act today, the pro version is normally this price, but if you act right now, you can get it at a lowered price. So once again, now I see the pro version. The basic version is great, but the pro version is even better. Guess what I did? I got the pro version. So I'm saying this was the third offer because I got that upgrade, if you will. All right. Well, the thing is, the dudes that are responsible for this funnel, they are affiliates, and they got a 40% commission when I got the secondary offer. They got another 40% commission when they got the third offer. All right, so there's a couple ways that you can increase your income. You can increase the number of customers that buy. You can increase the number of people that join. All right. Another way is to get a higher ticket from your existing buyers. When someone has already joined you in an enterprise, they're more likely to join you in another one. If somebody has already bought from you one product, they're more likely with your recommendation to buy a second product. And so that's exactly what happened here. All right. So then I've got the tool. I'm happy about the tool. I don't feel bad about the tool. I don't feel, oh man, it cost me more money. No, I saw the tool worked. I saw the tool was an answer, was a solution to a problem I was having. All right. So then I'm back into the training, and they said, here's another tool that we use. It's not mandatory, but hey, this is what allowed us to do this. You saw us do this on the webinar. This is what allowed us to do this on the webinar. All right. And so now I go and I check out that tool. And guess what I did? I got that tool. And that tool had its own funnel system that similar. I mean, because the tools are designed by huge internet marketers that do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million a year. And so the tools themselves had funnels. And so I get the basic, and then ultimately I upgraded to let's call it, I don't think they call it a pro version, but to a pro version. And guess what? the person that I originally got the primary offer from got commission here with the initial offer. They got commission on the secondary offer, commission on the third offer, commission on the fourth offer, commission on the fifth offer. And there was actually a sixth offer. All right, so this lead, which was me, helped them generate thousands in commissions because of the tools and resources and the initial offer and so on and so forth. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a sales funnel. And you don't typically see that in network marketing. Network marketing companies are never going to promote a sales funnel because they only want you promoting their product, their widget, their what have you. I want us to become entrepreneurs, not just marketers. I want us to become entrepreneurs where you have your own global internet business conglomerate. All right. So let me share this, okay? This was, now you tell me if you see something different. Now this was an email that came to me from another marketer. And in the earlier part of the email, they were saying that, hey, you're supposed to average $1 per month per subscriber in your email list. Unfortunately, a lot of marketers never get to $1 per month per subscriber. Later in the email, they say, but some marketers are getting $3, $5, and even $10 per subscriber. How? Two things. They promote offers with a deep back end. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what this was. It was a deep back end. One of these offers was a product that the annual outlay, it's not monthly, the annual outlay is $500. Okay, so I got that. It was a 40% commission. So they got $200, and it was all automated. It was all automated. What happened? I come in through the lead magnet. They did a webinar. All right. They actually, at that time, they had a live webinar. Now they have a what would be called a simulated webinar. But I happened to be the first one. I won't say the first one. I was on the first live webinar for this particular funnel. All right. I get the initial offer. Then I get the secondary offer. That secondary offer was $500. They get a 40% commission. They made $200 on top of me purchasing the initial offer. Then when I got that particular tool, there was a companion to that, let's say a pro version, that is typically, I think it was typically priced at $500. But if you act today, you get it for like $250. All right. And I got that. All right, they get a 40% commission, so they pick up another $100 there. Then when I got these offers here, one of these offers is $100 a month for that particular tool. They're getting $40. They're getting 40% of that. And then I actually did a mastermind type group because I really wanted to know the best way to take that particular tool and really use it. You're seeing it in my marketing now. I'm using that tool right now when I send out my emails, when I send out the webinar replays, or when I send out trainings or what have you. I'm using that tool right now, and I invested some money so that I could really learn more quickly, because I've got a coach that walks me through how to do this and how to do that and how to do that and how to do this, as opposed to me having to figure it out, okay? And so that is a deep back end. That's a deep back end. Now, if these dudes that created this funnel ever have another product or service, I'm gonna pay attention to it. I'm gonna pay attention to it because I already see that they have already provided solutions to some marketing problems. All right. So he says a deep back end. That's what he means by that. And then he says they put high quality leads on their list. And it turns out that this particular person is, he sells traffic. But look at how he framed the fact that he's selling traffic. He's not just selling traffic. He's really, early in the email, if I could show you, he's pouring salt on the wound. Okay. Then he's saying, hey, there's these marketers that generate $3 to $5 to $10 per subscriber, as opposed to folks that are struggling to generate $1. And how do they do it? Well, they've got a deep in back offer, And it just so happens that this particular traffic guy has a couple of back-end offers that pay high-ticket commissions, like $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 commissions. All right. So what he just did right here is he's promoting that without promoting it. He's promoting it. He's framing it. I shouldn't say without promoting it. He did promote it. He framed it. He's giving me a pitch, but he's wrapping it in value. He's giving me a pitch, but he's wrapping it in value. And then he says they put high-quality leads on their list. And then he goes on because he wants me to come and buy traffic from him. And I've bought traffic from him. And just as soon as we have the viewing, all right, I'm going to buy some traffic specific for this offer. Okay. Now, I'm about past my time, so I won't get a chance to get into our blueprint. If you were on the webinar last week, I said I was going to get into it, but I spent about half an hour on the information with THWGlobal. So next week, I'm going to get into our blueprint. All right. What is it? When I send out a message, you see this dude who's not me, by the way. He's just a character. All right. So the funnel blueprint guy, that's not me. That's just a character. Okay. All right. So you see the funnel blueprint. Well, what the heck does that mean? That's because what we're building out is a funnel for THW, and it will be housed under what we call the funnel blueprint. And the reality is, you know, hopefully THWGlobal is gold. If she's not gold, if she does wind up being crap, I don't think that's the case, but if that winds up being the case, guess what? We still have the funnel blueprint. We still have the training. All this stuff is still going to happen whether she's crap or gold, because our objective does not change whether she's crap or gold. If she's gold, it just means that we get to springboard. We get to jumpstart getting people, generating some revenue, and then taking a percentage of that revenue and investing it back into their businesses. So next week, I said this last week, but we didn't get to it. All right, I could do it now, but we'd be on a webinar another 45 minutes. Next week, I'm going to take you through the anatomy of the funnel blueprint, the funnel system that we are building out to promote THW. We'll talk about our marketing training portal. We'll talk about mobile marketing. We'll talk about what an affiliate center is. We'll talk about a showcase. All of this is designed so that you make money here, and then you make money here, and you make money here, and you make money here, and you make money here, so that you have a deep end. And some of you will have a high ticket something in your funnel. So some of this funnel will be what we are developing. And then there's going to be a part of the funnel that we call your showcase. That's where you're going to bring your products, your services, those other things that you're promoting outside of THW to bear. You'll understand that a lot better when we talk about this on next week. You guys have been an amazing audience. So let me do this. We're going to stop here for tonight. We'll come back with the funnel blueprint on next week, so you understand what we're building out for our audience. Queen, how about we go to Queen? Are you still with me? I know you have some commitments on Thursday night sometimes. I don't know if you're with me or not. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I trust that you enjoyed our webinar there. This is the funnel doc with the funnel blueprint, and I get such a high. I get such a high when we do those webinars, when we do them live, and we see the comments coming through the questions box, and we see the numbers of people growing and growing and growing on those webinars. Listen, I just wanted to reiterate what our objective is. And it doesn't matter who your sponsor is in THW. It doesn't matter what team you're on in THW. You know, here's the thing. When you understand what THW is looking to do, we have to have tens of millions of IVs ultimately for this to be the long-term business that we want it to become. Now, whether THWGlobal is crap or gold, we still want to help you build a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income across multiple niches, so that you ultimately have the financial and time freedom to highly pursue the passions of your heart. But as we talk specifically about THWGlobal, we've got to have tens of millions of folks all across the globe that's viewing. And so understanding that is one of the reasons why we've been so out front, at the risk of having a little egg on our face if it turns out being crap. We've been so out front with our trainings, opening it up to anyone, not just saying, hey, you know, you've got to build my team or what have you, because if I help you build your organization, even though you may not be in my 10 levels, if I help you build your organization, then that just helps us get to the numbers of viewers that we need to have for THW to have the success that it's looking for, so that you and I can experience the success we're looking for within THW Global. Now, here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to follow very intently. I want you to follow what we're doing very intently. We have a couple of webinars each week. We do a Tuesday night webinar, and that's a presentation webinar. Now, you might say, well, why do you need to really present when it's free? Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's free, and what that means is you're going to get a lot of people that come to the business with a free mentality. What we want to do is we want people that come, yes, we want quantity, but we also want quality. We want people coming with the sense of, I'm going to make a covenant. I'm going to make a commitment to viewing 10 hours a week. And so here's the thing, in business, when you're dealing with consumers, an educated consumer will always consume more than a non-educated consumer. And make no bones about it, we are consumers. We are going to be consuming the content. So if we can get someone, for instance, really buying into the message of not just up to $25 an hour, but why they want to commit to 10 hours and almost being a part of something bigger than themselves. When I commit to my 10 hours, yes, I make the maximum amount of viewing income that I could make, but what it also does is it feeds the overall organization. My sponsor gets the maximum amount that he or she could make from my viewing. Those 10 levels, those 10 folks above me, they get the maximum. All right, and now when I refer someone and they do 10 hours, they get their viewing income. And if you follow what we teach, that viewing income will become a seed. All right, it will become a seed where they will take a portion of that viewing income, if not all of it, and reinvest back into their business in the form of real marketing. See, this is why we're so passionate about THW Global and so hopeful that she is gold, because she now gives our folks a marketing budget. Don't eat that seed. Don't eat that seed. No, you take that viewing income and you reinvest that back into your business in the form of the proper tools, the proper resources, lead capture pages, autoresponders. We're developing a number of funnel-based systems to get the message out, but not just to get people to join you for free, to get people joining you and really making a covenant, making a commitment of viewing one, but then taking a portion of that income and reinvesting that. So that way you can ultimately, even if you haven't been successful up to this point, okay, you can ultimately build your own organization. You can ultimately build your own business and have a culture of people on your team that are constantly reinvesting back into their business. When they reinvest back into their business, because they're on your team, they're reinvesting in your business. See, the reality is you have folks that are in THW Global that are personally enrolling 100 and 200 and 300 and 400 and 500. One dude, I saw a post, he had personally enrolled 1,550 personally. And then you've got some folks that have enrolled 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. But you still have a lot of zeros. You still have a lot of zeros. Why? Because if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. It doesn't matter what you're marketing. So yes, you see what's going to happen is there's going to be folks that's going to get frustrated because they're going to be viewing and they're going to make some money. They're going to make up to $1,000 a month. But then they're going to hear about people that are making a $250,000 a month, or $500,000 a month, or $1 million a month. I believe this is an 8-figure model. If they pull this thing off, this is an 8-figure model for those who learn how to market. If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. And I can tell you, most of the people that I see marketing THWGlobal, and this is not me talking down to anybody, they're not marketing it right. So someone comes on my YouTube channel, for instance, and they post their spam with their link. That's not marketing right. That's not good marketing. I want you to engage in good marketing. If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. Once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. Heaven forbid, if THWGlobal is crap, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We will still be successful because we know how to market. I'm not a guru. I don't claim to be a guru, but I have invested the time and the resources to learn marketing. Now, do I still have a lot more to learn? Sure, I do. All right. Do I have a lot more to execute? Sure, I do. But here's my point. It doesn't matter who your sponsor is. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. I want you to connect with us. THWGlobalwebinar.com is where you can connect. You will get not only our webinar announcements, you'll not only be able to attend our live webinars. When we send out webinar replays, we'll send it out to this list. Now, we've made a few of our replays available on YouTube as we go along. I'm going to start phasing that part out because, especially on our Thursday night webinars, those trainings, all right, the trainings on Thursday nights, that's what I paid $20,000 and $30,000 and $40,000 for mastermind groups to learn and understand and to begin to apply. So that I'm not just going to be putting on YouTube. Okay, so as we go along and we get a little bit deeper into that type of mastermind style of training, you know, you're not going to find that on YouTube, and you know, we'll make sure that information is copywritten because that's some very, very key information. But you want to follow us very closely, find out a little bit more about our funnel blueprint, which we'll be launching here in a few weeks, probably by the end of July is when we plan to, and that's not new. We've been working on this this marketing and training portal. We've been working on this for about 9 or 10 months or so. So it just so happened that the THWGlobal message is so compelling that we're integrating that into our marketing and training portal. So you'll learn more about that as you follow us. Get your teams to follow us. Get your teams to follow us. All right. Someone registers. 3 things. All right. Someone registers. They register with you for free. That's step 1. Number 2, get them filling out the demographic survey. Number 3, get them registering. We will never send out personal referral links. We'll never send out personal referral links to this list. All right. We love each and every one of you. This is the Funnel Doc. We love each and every one of you. You can call me Doc, by the way. Let's change the world together, starting with yours.